I'm Jared McDaris. I'm the director and the writer of A Thousand Times Goodnight. It's an Elizabethan comedy play. It's styled after Shakespearean plays. It's a 5-act comedy based on the legend of 1001 Arabian Nights. Shakespeare's plays were all based on prior existing stories, so that's the prior existing story for this one. Yeah, we spent the first week working on an unrehearsed Shakespeare technique, which is just one of many ways that you can do Shakespeare. But it's a method that most people don't really know nowadays. So it was a good way to get actors in their bodies and get them out of the habit of the park and bark technique that's often associated with Shakespeare. Boy, you know, a lot of people are saying how much they like the stories within the play, but I really enjoy the moments when the entire court comes together. I think I go with Act 3, Scene 1. It's the first time that we really get to see all the characters come together and develop their relationships more clearly. I really like seeing the real people and how they interact with each other. It's the second night of A Thousand Times Goodnight. Scheherazade is not going to die like we thought she might have, and everyone gets to see how the Sultan manages to not run his kingdom very well. He's treated in a way that you wouldn't really expect a Sultan to be treated, and yet he just kind of rolls with it. It's a lot of funny stuff. I think my favorite is Sinbad, mostly because it's so different from what we expect of Sinbad. It's a very strong metaphor for the overarching story of the play itself, and it focuses a lot more on these two people interacting with each other rather than the broader comedy that defines much of the play, and a lot of Shakespearean comedies. I first tried to write verse when I was 20 years old, and it was really, really bad. All I did was hit the return key every time I wrote 10 syllables. And I think it's because the first thing that really got me interested in theater, the first thing that made me like being an actor, the first thing that made me interested in writing was a one-act version of Midsummer Night's Dream, where they just did the rude mechanicals part of it. And ever since then, it's always been Shakespeare that I come back to. I've done a lot of work with unrehearsed Shakespeare, so it's always in my head. I'd already written a history play called King Saul Part 1, which was inspired by a Lego website, and then I was just waiting for the inspiration for the comedy to hit me, and it did, and then I wrote it. Yeah, well, please come see the show, and please, we want to make a show that engages the audience, not in just a way that, like, presents a controversial issue or, like, a, oh no he didn't moment, but, like, we want to communicate with you more strongly, not just sit back and have things happen at you. And I would request audiences to engage with the actors as they engage with you, and that might sound like homework, but I think that will make the show even more enjoyable. I'm having a lot of fun already. I am overwhelmed with how talented and how enthusiastic the cast is even this early in the process, so it's always fun to watch performers having fun with their work. So you can see that. I advise it.